I want to start by getting Tejasvi to talk about the new India that you think is being built. Why is it that you think that this new conception of India is better than Congress's conception of India? Why do you feel that the youth are more empowered in India today than they've been in the India of the past? Tejasvi.
Thank you so much, Rahul. I think the Congress party, for a very long time, consciously kept India and Indians poor. As a result of that, young Indians, generations after generations, were deprived of opportunities and great potential, left unspent and unexploited. In New India, under the Prime Minister's leadership, a new culture of respecting talent, respecting meritocracy, respecting hard work, and placing performance over pedigree, whether it is in politics, whether it is in sports, whether it is in any area of work, is what is given importance. Two, young people are consciously being given opportunities. And opportunities can be given only by a political system and a political institution which allows for competition to flourish. Not a political party which is so insecure that if capable, talented young people rise in that particular party system, it may be a competition, it may be a threat to the party's dynasty. So that is the second part. The third part is New India has new icons. The new icons of India are like T. Natarajan, who, coming from the smallest of places, achieved the biggest of dreams through sheer hard work, capability, and talent. New India is ambitious. And New India does not shackle our young people's ambitions in the license quota permit Raj of the Nehruvian era, which is why you find unicorns, you find big startups, you find Indians wanting to enlist companies in, exchanges in the United States. So young India, under the Prime Minister's leadership, is unbound, it is audacious, it is ambitious, and it is very clear and it is very certain that the government system will facilitate and support its ambition and drive and not stifle it. This is the most important
Supriya,
difference.
Tejasvi can say that he is a symbol of New India. At a time when his party had to choose whether they'd pick the wife of the former MP, they chose him, young, audacious, ambitious, all the terms he used to describe New India. And he compares that with the party that you represent, where no matter how talented you are, how hardworking you are, there'll always be a person with a certain tag, a certain surname, who'll have a much better chance of leading the party and a far brighter chance of benefiting from the political power that you get with that than you would, even if you're 100 times more talented. He says that is the difference. He is the difference between the old India which you represent and the new India which he represents.
I think rhetorical statements talking about New India need to be countered with facts. To my friend here, when he says the Congress kept the people poor, you have the unique distinction of leading our economy into the recession first time ever. You have the unique distinction of letting unemployment rise to a 45-year high. You have the unique distinction of industry unwilling to spend. In 2020, forget about 7 years, in 2020 last year, 7,000 high net worth individuals quit this country, went somewhere else and invested there. Is this what New India stands for? You have the unique distinction of letting petrol cross 100, letting LPG prices rise by 225 rupees and not utter a word. You have the unique distinction where students are jailed, where activists are charged for sedition, where farmers are sitting outside New Delhi for the last 3.5 months, 260 of them have died, and not a word from the Prime Minister. Is this New India? Is Tejasvi here willing to put his hand on his heart and say he's sorry for the death of 260 farmers? Not a word. So New India is a rhetorical question. I think 8.3% GDP growth when you brought in the Tughlaqi Farman of Notbandi. What happened after that? We dropped to 4.1%. Our economy will shrink by 8% this year. And a shrinking economy means the volume, the size of the economy is shrinking. So you have unique distinction because you came in on the promise and premise of building hope for the future. You've actually ruined the present. And there is no hope for the young. Where are the jobs? So New India has no place for dissent. It has no place for diversity. It has no place for disagreement. It has no jobs and it has no economic growth.